All these people who are trying to talk down on us and talk about non-believers or talk about people living their wicked ways, pretty much just being self-righteous and judgmental. They're all hypocrites. A lot of these people are, even without the statue, they're sitting around worshiping this dude. But the fact that some so-called Christians can sit up here and condone this, they can actually make excuses for this, y'all are going to hell. I'll be live in Chicago Friday, June 19th, 10 p.m. show back at the Lincoln Lodge. And you can get your tickets by going to doubletoastedchicago.com or scanning that QR code right there. We got Suarez. And what are your thoughts on Trump getting a new golden statue at Mar-a-Lago, which the boys kind of predicted recently? Man, I got that story all day. Well, this is one of the things we're going to talk about on What Up Son tonight, and we were doing it. But this, let me see here. So they had this Trump gold statue. And yes, that you can see right there, it was predicted by the boys. Now, this is on a golf course, and I think that's bad enough. Like if I wouldn't, if a golf course, if I was a golfer and I belonged to a country club, if they put up a gold Trump statue, I would quit that day. I wouldn't go there. And I know that seems kind of petty. And a lot of people who are pro-Trump would be like, oh, look at you got that Trump whatever syndrome. Man, listen, the whole thing about this worship of Trump is really bothering me. It goes beyond politics. This whole thing about people just with this cult mentality with Trump is disturbing to me. And I want no part of it. And I'm getting to the point where I want no part of people who do worship Trump. Your politics are different than mine. Okay, if you got some real policy to talk about, that's fine. But if you are of the cult of Trump, like if you just worship this dude, like, I don't want to be around you, man. Because to me, I think mentally ill. Call me judgmental. I don't care. But this goes worse, man. It's on a golf course. On a golf course, I'm like, all right, whatever. But let me see here, man. The whole thing with this statue, there is a religious aspect to this. And it was a pastor that brought all these people out. Let me see if I can actually find an image of this guy. He looks like a black kingpin. He's another one of these. What is up with all these black pastors looking like the kingpin, man? That dude there was another dude that was following Trump. All these black pastors, they all look like the black kingpin, like almost the Michael Clark Duncan version from Daredevil with Ben Affleck. But man, it was this dude and it was another dude who was writing nasty things on porn channels, commenting, just saying some real nasty shit, who was trying to run for office and he had to quit because people found his nasty stuff. He looked like a black kingpin too. But here it is, Pastor Mark Burns. Oh, how as pastor who had the nerve, I can't play the video, but he had the nerve to pull these people out in front of this gold statue right here on this golf course and give a sermon while people are praying. They got their heads down and it looks like they are worshiping the statue right here. He's actually on the phone with Trump at one point.
He was right at the beginning, and I appreciate it, Mark. You're great, and just really a good person.
And this man had the nerve to ask, why are people turning to atheism more? Why are people turning from religion? And it's, and I had to, look at this and be like, man, it's because of you, idiot. Because people see you worshiping this, what they call the golden calf, a false idol. And, that's why I don't get about religious people now. Like, listen, if I was religious, which I'm not, and this just confirms why I'm not. I mean, this doesn't help. I will never be religious looking at this kind of shit. But it just, if I was religious, this would definitely be something where I would at least start thinking, this ain't what I thought it was. This seems a little hypocritical. All these people who are trying to talk down on us and talk about non-believers or talk about people living their wicked ways, pretty much just being self-righteous and judgmental. They're all hypocrites. A lot of these people are, even without the statue, they're sitting around worshiping this dude. But the fact that some so-called Christians can sit up here and condone this, they can actually make excuses for this. Y'all are going to hell. If you, I don't believe in heaven or hell, but if there is a hell, my question to you is, do you believe in hell? Because if you do, if you honestly in your heart believe that, like you tell everybody else, that's where you are going. You are going straight to hell. Because that's one of the main things. Listen, there's a lot of things that we can talk about with God and his mysterious ways. You know, you ask people like, hey, why did this happen? Why did he let that happen? And people answer with, well, the Lord works in mysterious ways. But one thing that ain't mysterious is that God, and I'm going to put it in a way I ain't going to like, but I'm going to tell you what it is. He said, you better kiss my ass. Now that's not in the Bible, but God says, I better be the one. You better not be praying to any other false god out there. You better not even think about doing that. You better kiss my ass. God, I even think he said he's a jealous God. God don't play when it comes to God is like a jealous boyfriend. You know, if he finds that you're dating somebody else, he'll kick the door down at your house and come in there and murder you. God does not like you paying attention to any other God, especially false gods. And that is exactly what is happening here with this. So if you are someone who's religious, if you are someone who believes in God, who believes in the Bible, you say that you are a true Christian, and especially if you're one of those people who says a lot of this, no, it is not interpretation. It is real. You know, the snake, the apple, the flood, the Noah and the ark, and all that stuff. You know, if you believe, if for you say, no, there's no metaphor for that. That was real. So if you believe it that hard, then you better believe your ass is going to burn for eternity if you were worshiping a statue of Trump. A dude's just a man. He's a billionaire. Yeah, he's the president, but he ain't no God. And God will tell you that. You mean to tell me? I told y'all not to worship any false gods or idols. And you sit up here worshiping a grifter and a con man? Oh, you better believe your ass is going to burn. You're just going to be on a constant loop through all the 7 levels of hell. If anybody goes to this church, if anybody's following, if you're a part of the flock of this Pastor Mark Burns, another black kingpin, who, by the way, might as well be the kingpin because he's corrupt too. That dude, I can trust you. He's in Trump's pocket. That guy's not doing this because of any work for God. He's not doing this because of anything holy about this. There's some connection, some favors, some business deal, something he's got going on with Trump. And that's why, because Trump was on the phone with him, thanking him. He had, he's building his statue right here. He's in his pocket somehow, some kind of way. There's nothing godly or holy about what this man is doing. And if you were following this man, you are being led straight into hell right along with his black ass. And I put black ass in emphasis right there because being a black pastor at this moment, at this time, in the beginning when Trump came in office, we gave you a little slack, all right? We didn't like it. It wasn't cool. That is, if you were black and voted for Trump. But hey, everybody said, listen, we'll see where this goes. And now you see what's happening here. This is an administration that's trying to bring back Jim Crow. They're getting rid of, trying to diminish voting rights, and who knows what they'll try to chip away after that. There's been evidence of so much racism in this administration. And meanwhile, this dude is sitting up here kissing his golden ass. That guy. I hope there is a hell just so he can go. That goes for you Latinos too out there. Latinos and blacks for Trump. Now they're trying to take away our rights. They're rounding y'all up. Out of here, man. A lot of these people, and this is nothing against our white viewers in our community or anything like that. Because believe me, I'm all about everyone. I'm so disappointed in the way things are today. I'm going to tell you something, man. I am so depressed about the way things are. I'm Gen X. And when I was 19, I was in my 20s. Yeah, things weren't perfect, but it seemed like there was a generation that was coming up post segregation. It seemed like we were coming up and actually having an understanding, like, yeah, we're all people, man. We were going to all kind of concerts, and black people were expanding and going to rock concerts, and white people going to hip hop concerts, and we were all mixing up in between. And it seemed like we were just breaking down barriers. And now I see today this administration, but worse than that, I see young people. I see young people out there who are just being brainwashed into being some of the most despicable, racist ass people, which in some of the most ignorant ways. There was a girl she's like early 20s, maybe mid 20s. And she's talking about how, I remember when people said red birds stick with red birds and blue birds stick with blue birds. And why can't people be like that? Why can't blacks stick with blacks? And why can't whites stick with whites and everybody else stick to themselves? And then we all be cool, which of course that's bullshit, because all that means is, whites stick with whites and then let's try to shit on everybody else.
That might be racist to say, but why do we mix races? Why are we not just keeping the white people with the white people, keeping the black people with the black people?
She had the nerve to come back and say, by the way, y'all, let's keep it classy.
It's just, come on, let's be classy. Why are we being tacky and trashy? Ugh.
Like, if you hang out, if you're not a segregationist, you have no class. Meanwhile, this bitch is the most classless person and ignorant person I've ever seen saying that. And it just, I talked about this dude, Chud the Builder, the other day, walking around harassing people with racism. And, there's more. This whole movement of young influencers out there talking about how Hitler was cool. What the is going on, y'all? What is happening? You mean we can make these amazing things like the internet and AI and robots and all this shit, but we can't get past petty shit like race? It depresses me, because I thought music was bringing us together. I thought culture was bringing us together. We all like anime, and we're growing up with cool movies that we all like. And for some reason, our stupid asses find a way to just separate each other. And not only just separate each other, just be shitty to each other. I don't get it, man. I really don't get it. And for all you religious people out there, shut the up. You have no right to go around telling anybody about how they live their lives, and you following, you sit up here worshiping an actual golden calf, or a golden jackass in this case right here. You have no right to tell anybody when you have a one-way ticket, fast-tracked, straight to hell. Don't you dare tell anybody. Don't you dare talk to anybody today about how they live their lives or how wicked they are. Or hey, you need to go to church. What, the church of worshiping this piece of shit? Nah, man. People, get your shit together. Wake up. Why are we sitting up here falling for this grift right here? Why are we letting it just tear our lives apart and turn against each other? Because I'm going to close with this. I know I've been on a rant. Because while we're down here fighting over stupid shit, while we're down here worshiping actual idols and gold calves, these rich people are laughing because they know what they're doing. They know they're tearing us apart, and they're tearing us apart because it's easier to grift us and rip us off and control us why do you think there's income inequality like it is right now? Because nobody's fighting for what they should have. Nobody's fighting for proper health care. Nobody's fighting for, what was promised to us right now. Cheaper groceries. Nobody's worried about the standard of living and the fact that the middle class is just being chipped away while the poor get poor and the richer get richer, and we let it happen. I don't get it, man. Gas prices gone up because of a stupid ass war that this dude started, and we still fighting each other. And meanwhile, people are living paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. They have no savings. And yet we're sitting up here worried about immigrants, and we're worried about what the blacks are doing, and rich people laughing at poor people. I mean, I don't understand it, man. I don't. I really don't. We need to get ourselves together, and that should be the first sign that that's the case right here. And the hell with this dude. And in addition to false idols, man, y'all need to follow, y'all need to like make sure that you be very, very aware of these fake pastors out there, because they're just as bad. So here's a little something extra for you. After recording that live stream, I went and looked up some more about this pastor, Mark Burns, because he really is a fascinating guy. And I discovered that he also lied about his educational background, including being part of some fraternity who says that they never heard this guy before.
You also claim to be studying at the Anderson Theological Seminary.
Yes, I did.
We called them, you're not enrolled there, and you enrolled in 2008 and never advanced.
Right, but
so not only is this guy a grifter, a sellout, and also someone who worships false idols, but the guy is also a shameless liar. You know, a sin. So do with that information what you will. Why you think we have mega churches now? Ask yourself, do you really need a church with a Starbucks? Do you really need a church that's set up like a damn concert venue? Do you really need that? If Jesus was here today, and again, this is coming from a person who's not even religious. If Jesus was here today, Jesus would not go build some church with a roller coaster in it. All right. Jesus would find a modest place. Jesus could go and sit on a rock and preach, because he's not about that kind of materialism. If that's what you're following today, you're probably going to hell. Just telling you like it is. You might want to get used to it. Start soaking in some boiling water. Or would you look at that? You made it to the end of the video. That means you really like us. So just go ahead and press that like button and subscribe while you're at it. And check out our other channels, our social media like Instagram, TikTok, and our Patreon, where we have new stuff coming up all the time. And we'll see you on the next video.